Hi everybody, welcome to Tina's Crafty Ink Spot. Today we're going to make a fun card, and of course it's going to include products from the new annual catalog coming out. Okay, see all these little tags? That's my want list or need list. Can't really differentiate the two. You're going to love it. If you haven't got your catalog by now, and you're one of my customers and have ordered in the last 6 months, I sent you one automatically. Let me know if you didn't get it. I know mail's been slow and things have been crazy, but I did send them out to all of my customers. If you need a catalog, feel free to email me. My email is right here on this blog post, on my blog here, and let me know. I'll get one out to you. Of course, I spiral bind mine because, of course, I'm flipping through it constantly. But we're going to use a couple of products out of here. I can't open the catalog for you yet because not until it goes live in May. And you're going to want to watch for some really good May specials, especially joining Stampin' Up! In May. There's going to be some good promotions and a great time. If you have a large list of things you want, joining Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator, whether or not you want to do parties and do sales, or if you just want to do it for your own discount, which you can absolutely do, it's a good deal. I mean, who doesn't love getting 20 to 25% off of everything they buy, right? Anyway, let's get started. Enough sales. You know I don't do sales during my videos. Let me show you what we're going to make today. This is a new hostess set, and we are going to make this beautiful little swan card. And I've added some feathers. What do you think? Isn't that cool? But I'm going to show you how simple this is, and it just makes a quick, elegant little card. And I'll go through the products we're using, and we'll put one together real quick. So let's get started. The swan itself comes in one of the hostess sets, and if you have a $150 party, you can get these hostess sets at a discount. Okay, and this swan, okay, I did one on the frog. All right, he's super adorable. I'll have to show you that one at the end of the video if I remember. But we're going to use this little swan right here. The saying that we're going to use here, all things you do are simply amazing. I just thought it was a perfect fit. Well, there's a set called Elegantly Said, and it's got these amazing greetings in it. I haven't even used them all yet and put them together. So we're going to use the greeting from there. Or you can use some of the greetings that are right here in this set. That's entirely up to you. Then, for this background, we have this color and contour bundle. And it comes with these amazing dies, which the main die I left over here on my machine. The die we're using is this beautiful scalloped edge die. I just love it. So if you like stitched and scallops and pretty flowers, it's a must-have. It's called Color and Contour Bundle. So we're going to use the dies from that. And then I've got to show you this paper, okay? This paper is from the Simply Elegant Bundle, okay? It's a suite of products. It includes a punch. And what did I do with? It's got a stamp set. I thought it was here. But we're going to be using the paper. It's got this, I'm going to see if I can pull this out. We're using this one. I keep all my paper in photo albums. And I use the 12 by 12 inserts for photo albums, and I keep all my designer paper. It's just easy to go through, and you can keep your scraps in there with it. Let me show you this paper. It's so pretty. So you got the one we're going to use today, and then it's got a nice, I believe this is the evergreen, but it's got a beautiful background. Okay, this one, I'm just dying to figure out what I'm going to make with this, with these foil flowers in both. It looks like copper and silver and gold, and then a nice background. Sad thing about papers like these, you hate to lose one side or the other on what you're going to use it for. But we suck it up. Oh, look at this one with the copper and the silver and the gold again on it. I'm going to tell you right now, I know the video and the camera is not doing this paper justice. Look at this. Ah, love, love. And then this one's nice and subtle. I almost used this one for this card. It's got a nice, very vanilla and some gold. Oh, look at the filigree. And last but not least, look at this one with the silver and the grays and the gold. And of course I love this side too, so that's going to be a hard one to use. Anyway, that is the Simply Elegant DSP. And like I said, it's in a suite in your catalog. And you're probably going to want the whole suite. I have the stamp set here somewhere. I didn't pull it over here because we weren't using it. Let me see if I got it right handy. Well, I'm not sure where I've got it at the moment. I have been playing with new products for days, and I'm just having a ball. I mean, oh, here's the frog. I took the frog and I colored him and added dimension and of course added an eyeball. Because when you look at him here, he's just a frog with his eyes closed. So I'll probably do a coloring, Stampin' Blends coloring tutorial on this little guy. He's fun to color, and it just looked like a frog with an attitude to me. So I just love it. So I'll try to put together a video on that guy. But I've been getting ready for a card swap, so I've been doing some other cards. So this is the designer paper we're going to use. And what I did is I took the scallop die and I made the sheet. Okay, and then we're just using regular, very vanilla cardstock, and it's an A2 card, so it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this piece is just going to go right there. We're not going to put them together yet. So let's start on the tag, because I want to show you a technique. Because you see that the tag is just this short tag, right? Well, I wanted the tag to be long so I could put my swan on it. So I'm going to show you a fun technique you can do with any of your punches. And if you have my technique ring, it is in there, how to punch a long tag. So what we're going to do for this one, I'll show you, is you get, this is the Elegant Tag Punch. So on your punches, you're going to measure your paper to fit inside of the punched area. Okay, so like I said, this goes with any of your punches you can do this with. And what you want to do, instead of putting your sheet of paper straight in, you're going to take and put your paper in. And this is going to be a little difficult for me with my hand, but I'm hoping I can show you. So all you're going to do is get your paper in there. Oops. And you're going to slide it in just slightly, okay? Or whatever length. So if you were to push this one all the way in, it stops, okay? And then you'd punch the bottom, get your scrap out of there, and then to do the top, you would do the exact same thing. So for this particular punch, you're going to use a 1 3/4 inch strip, and then I wanted this to be about, I'm going to say that's about 5 inches long. So what I did is I cut my strip at about 5 1/8, 5 1/4, whichever. And then you're just going to stick the front side in. See if I can do this. Some of these intricate ones, it's a little more difficult because you got to slide it in. Oh, look at that, I got it. So you're just going to slide it in same way. Uh-oh, looks like I hung up. Oh, so all I'm going to do, yeah, I can't show you. It's not going to show. The paper snagged a little bit right there. So I'm just going to take the flat end of my tool there and just, it's not as hard as it is portraying itself to be right here. Okay, so now my paper's in there and it can slide whatever length. See, it's going to come all the way out. See, that's I folded it right there. That's why it hung up. So all you're going to do is put it to approximately where you want. And punch it. And there you have your long tag that's longer than the item you're using. Let's see how close I got that. Look at that. Got it right. Okay, so we're going to use this. And let's emboss our greeting on it. So let me bring in the Stamparatus because I can't do anything without it. And we're going to stick this in here. And let's grab our greeting. I almost thought about doing "Life has changed for you, but my love and support never will." Don't you just love sayings like that? I love when we get stamp sets like that. But we're going to stick with this one. I'm going to line it up here at the top. Make sure, oops, and don't do that with your magnets. Then you can't get them apart, or you break them. I go through a lot of magnets. But I did find when you put tape on them like this, or washi tape or duct tape, one, they're easy to grab, and two, they don't seem to break as easy when you accidentally clamp them together. Alright, that was another tip, so there you go. Alright, let's pick that up. Make sure when you're doing embossing, use your embossing buddy or anti-static powder to keep the embossing powder from not sticking where you don't want it. You can also use, if you don't have, I moved that, didn't I? No, we're good. You can also use a used dryer sheet will work. Anything like that. So let's pull in our Versamark. And ink that up nice. Oh, I might have moved it a little, but I think it's going to be okay. And set this aside for a second, and then we'll do our swan, but let's get this embossed. Oh, I did move it, you guys. But you know what? That's okay. We can flip it over and do it on the other side. So that's what we'll do. I moved it and ended up with a shadow. I shouldn't have done that. Let's try that again. That's why we have two sides to every piece of paper. It's been so long since I've done a video, it seems. Been having a lot going on. Such is life, huh? Alright, let's try that again. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to use our anti-static powder. I have a lot of ideas to do with the swan set and the frog, so hopefully I'll get time to start implementing some of them and get them out there on the blog to you. We do have a, the team I belong to, we're having our blog hop this Saturday. You're not going to want to miss it. It's, the theme is Mother's Day. And so there's going to be some really nice cards. All I'm doing here is using the tip of my scissors to remove some embossing powder where I didn't want it. I didn't have my paintbrush on hand, so let me heat set that real quick. Ah, heat embossing, my very favorite thing. And we have Butamus. So it's Butamus. Alright, now, got our tag done. Let me clean this off. And let's stamp our Swan. So we can start getting him done. Believe it or not, this whole card was relatively quick. So let me put this away. Always put your lid on. Oh, you see how I only have about a half a container left? I was embossing to do this project, and my baby girl, some of you have seen her picture, she's tall enough, she comes up and she lays her head on my craft desk and just watches me while I'm crafting. Well, I was embossing and she sneezed. So half of my embossing powder went everywhere. And when you don't think something's going to go wrong, there you go. You have a helper that helps you. Okay, so let me find my white. And now for the Swan itself, I stamped it on thick basic white cardstock. Mainly being so that it's a little bit stronger, since we're going to be working with it more to add the feathers and stuff. So all I did is we are going to stamp it in smoky slate or a light gray, because you're basically doing a white swan, and I think if you were to do black ink, it would be a little bit too bold. And then we can do our white shading with our Stampin' Blend marker. So we're just gonna, and you don't want the black to show underneath these white feathers. What you could do that might look really good is maybe do it in gold emboss, would look nice. So you have your Swan here. And I have a rag. Oh, and you guys are going to notice in the new photopolymer stamp sets, the inserts now have all the images. So I'm assuming that takes the place of this plastic that they come on, and you can just, for ease, stick your images right to the case. I think that's going to be awesome. I just noticed it, so it's new. I think you're going to like it. Okay, so now with your Swan, the only thing you have to do to him is take your black Stampin' Right marker. Let's see if I can zoom us in a little bit. There we go. Let's try that. So we're going to take our black Stampin' Right marker, and all I want to do is on swans, this little space on their head by the beak is actually black. So all I'm doing is going over that gray with my Stampin' Right, black Stampin' Right marker, which seems to be running out of ink. But that's okay. Then we're going to take, this is our light pumpkin pie, And we're going to color his beak. And what you can do before you fussy cut him, which he's really easy to fussy cut, is you can add some of your highlights to give his body a little more dimension. So you would want to have a little bit of shading under his chin, maybe a little bit right here at the crook of his neck. And you don't need to worry about the wings, because remember, we're going to be covering those. I'm going to put a little bit of shade right here and maybe under his eye right there. That is all you need to do to him. And to save you my painstaking fussy cutting, I've already cut him out. So what I did, but I wanted to show you something before I did the highlights on him. So you have him, and if you see by my fussy cutting, see the little bit, you can see a little bit of white or something like that. That's not a big deal. I'm going to show you how to fix that. And I do this with almost all of my fussy cut images. Normally I do it with my black Stampin' Blends, but since this is a gray outline, take the feather tip of your Stampin' Blend. Now do this from the back side of your image, because if you slip, you don't want to ruin your stamped image. And all I do is take the edge of my feather tip and go right along the edges. See how it's... And what that does, it does two things. It covers up any white areas that you had, you know, here on the edge where you were fussy cutting. Plus, when your image is popped up with that edge colored with whatever you're doing, black or gray or whatever, it actually adds extra dimension to your image. So it's just kind of a little trick. It's not something you have to do. I'm just saying it's fun. Okay, so what I did with this swan, and I will put a link to where I found these feathers. Of course, Amazon. And all they are is little white craft feathers. And they come, I'm going to say they're probably between 2 and 3 inches each, which is fine. So I'm just going to take a few of them out because some of them are a little bit different, just so I have an assortment to pick from. So I'm going to take my feathers, figure out which ones I want to use. So I'm probably going to go with some of these smaller ones. I'm going to lay them on there, see how they fit. So we're going to do a little bit of layering of these. Okay, so we got that one. How about that one? Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's a nice small one we can layer on the top. Let's see what else we got. Here's another small one. Okay, that should get us started. And I wanted a little bit of the fluff part of the feather up here. So that's okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Seal. Let me see if I can zoom this in yet a little bit further. Okay, so we've got our feathers. And I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to put some on just, and I'm using the Stampin' Seal Plus. It's the stronger of the two Stampin' Seals because it'll hold better. And I'm just putting a few rows of it right on there. Okay. You're also going to need your glue dots, okay? But this first layer, pick a feather, and we're gonna lay it right on there. And it's okay if the side hangs off here. We're gonna trim that. Then I'm gonna take one more, fluff up my feather there, because we're just creating the base layer now. And we'll stick that one down. Okay? So now we can take our snips, and I'm not trimming right up against the body, I'm just going real close. Okay, now on our next feathers, because see how we can still see the stamping? We're just going to layer a couple more feathers on there, and what I did to do that was I just used glue dots. Because I think if I was to take this and try to go over the feathers, it's going to kind of crumple them up. So all I'm going to do, and I usually use my tweezers to pick up my glue dot, and I'm going to put it right on the feather. Let's put one more. Okay, so I'm going to take one more glue dot and just put it on the feather. It's going to help hold it down. And then we're just going to layer it right over the top. And let's do another long one. Oh, that one's going to fit perfect. Let's do that one. Probably take your glue dots, see if it'll pick it up like this. Sometimes because it's real fine, the feather, it might break your feather stem, so that's why I was using the tweezers. So let's line him on there. Oh, beautimous. Okay, look at that. Oh my. Okay, let's layer a couple more so we cover the... I'm going to save these short ones for the top layer, I think. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's do this one. It's a nice full one. And I'm putting the glue dot on the vein of the feather. Just put that one right there. Nice. Let's trim it off again. And I like having the little fluffy on the edge there. I think it looks great. Of course, let's kind of trim some of this stray off right here. We'll trim it all to look uniform when we're done. So now I'm going to take one of these small ones and I'm going to put it toward the front of the swan because, you know, their feathers are layered. Grab a glue dot. And it stuck to me, not the feather. See if I didn't ruin that feather, I hope. Let's put that one right there. Oh, I may have missed that one. I think I did. I did. I messed it up. That's okay. Let's do a different one. There we go. I'm going to trim that one a little bit. I think I did a card like this one time where I did a peacock using feathers. And oh, that card was a huge hit. I think what I'll do is, no, let's stick with doing it right on the feather, I think. Less chance of messing up what you've got there. I'm going to layer that one toward the front. Look at that. Oh, isn't he pretty? Okay, I'm going to now trim. And it looks like the back stayed pretty good. Let's trim this just a little bit. And look at your beautiful swan. Isn't he pretty? I don't know. Sometimes I get these crazy ideas in my head. And I have to try them. And I'm always tickled pink when they turn out. And this one turned out. Looks like, there we go, a little bit. Okay, now what I did, so we're going to take our swan and, whoops, let's do dimensionals. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple mini dimensionals on his head. And he needs one on his neck. So what I'm going to do, when your mini dimensional is bigger than your mini area, this is when you know that you may be a pop-up addict, when you're trimming mini dimensionals to make smaller mini dimensionals. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go right to the edge of where you've got a straight line, and I'm actually just going to cut a piece the size I need. So it's thin and it's straight, and there you go. See? And then I can just put it right on his neck. And let's add him to our tag. Alright, now, got a little piece of feather everywhere. So I think he's going to go pretty good right about there. Look at that. Isn't he pretty? She. Maybe it's a she. I don't know. Usually the male of a bird species is the prettier. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of our gold twine, which is also in the new catalog. I'm going to cut off a piece. And I'm not very good at freehand tying bows, so I have my little bow tire my husband made me. I saw one of these years ago on the internet somebody had made, so I made my husband make me one. It's just like makes short work of doing bows of any kind with ribbon or twine. And oops. When you got both hands at work, it's a little easier. Okay, we got our little bow. And I'm going to just use a glue dot. I got feathers everywhere. So let's take a glue dot and just set it right here. Make sure our bows, try to pull the ends down a little bit. There we go, we got our bow. Trim the edges here. And now we're going to take our card base and our die cut. And our die cut, see, I'm a messy crafter. I'm going to take this, I'm just going to apply it with regular glue. And I'm on the very corner edges, add just a little bit on the scalloped edge piece, just to hold it down on the edges. You might want to just put a couple dabs along the way. I'll line line that up on our card. Doesn't that look pretty on the very vanilla? Just love it. Alright, now we're going to attach this also with dimensionals. I think I need a mini for the top. There we go. I was going to do this card for a card swap, but I ran out of time to get it. You know, with the mail being delayed, you have to mail things a lot earlier than you normally used to. So just make sure my card swaps get there on time. I got a loose feather here. Let me tuck that in there. And let's just attach that in the middle. And let's add some embellishments. So, also in the new catalog is these genial gems. And they're glitter. And they go with some of the new colors. I'm going to say this is probably the pale papaya that's coming out. And this is probably the succulent. The green soft succulent. But we're just going to take some, as you can tell, I like the pale papaya a lot. I've used them. Oh, I need my take your pick tool. Let's just add a few little embellishments here. Just to add a little more texture. They're not real loud, but they just add a little something, something. Let's put one there. And looky there. There you go. You have a beautiful 3D Swan card. So I just wanted to show you. It was a lot simpler than you probably would have thought. I will put all the link, or I will put all the item numbers, because I can't link them to my store yet because they're not out yet. But I will put each of the items used today and the item numbers where in your catalog where you can find them. And I'll also, this little bag of feathers, you might be able to find some at a local craft store. Like I said, I just went on Amazon, and I think this whole bag of little feathers maybe cost $3 plus prime shipping. I would have spent more gas in my car trying to go find them at the craft store. So there you go. You have your elegant Swan card. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and get ready for the new catalog. You are going to be excited. There's some beautiful items in it, and every year Stampin' Up! Just awes me that they can come out with more, even better things. So I hope to see you soon, and I hope you have a very happy Stampin' Day. Bye-bye now.